question that will shake you. What if I told you that not every person is destined to crave marriage? That there are people, maybe even you, who simply don't feel that pull, that longing, that rush of emotion others speak about. And what if I also told you that in Islam, forcing yourself into a marriage your heart and body reject is not just unwise, it could be sinful? Today, we explore a question many are too shy to ask, a question that hides behind closed doors and polite smiles. It's a question about love, desire, and the rights we owe to others and to ourselves. A young man, 28 years old, reached out with a concern that has been pressing on his heart for years. He said, "I have no desire to get married. It's not something that excites me, and I don't see it as part of my future. But my parents are pushing me hard. They say that within the next 2 or 3 years, I must marry. They insist it's my duty, that in Islam, a child must obey the parents, no matter the circumstances. So am I sinful if I refuse? What should I do?" The question may sound unusual, because for many people, marriage is a dream. It's a natural instinct Allah has placed within the human soul, the longing for companionship, intimacy, family. But here's the reality. Not every human being experiences that desire in the same way. Islam teaches that marriage is a highly recommended sunnah. It completes half of one's faith, offers protection from sin, and provides a safe space for human needs. The Quran reminds us, and among his signs, is that He created for you spouses from among yourselves, so that you may find tranquility in them. And He placed between you affection and mercy. But here's what many forget. Marriage, while virtuous, is not obligatory for every single person at every single stage of life. For someone who fears falling into sin without marriage, it becomes strongly recommended, obligatory in some cases. But for someone who has no sexual desire, who feels no pull towards intimacy, the situation is different. Let's be clear. Marriage is not just about living together or having companionship. One of its core purposes is the fulfillment of physical needs for both spouses. If a man marries a woman while knowing that he cannot fulfill her basic marital rights emotionally or physically, then he is not just making a poor choice, he is potentially committing injustice. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Do not harm and do not reciprocate harm." A woman enters marriage with the expectation that she will have a companion who loves her, supports her, and fulfills her natural desires. If you know, before even entering the marriage, that you cannot or will not provide that, then you are walking into a situation where you could deeply hurt another human being. In Islam, that is not acceptable. So, what should someone do if they find themselves in this position? There are 2 clear paths. Remain unmarried if you have no desire, no ability, and no interest in intimacy. The safest and most just path is to remain unmarried. You protect yourself from harming someone else and avoid a marriage built on frustration and unmet expectations. Marry someone like you. If companionship is something you still value, sharing life, home, and support with another human being, but you both agree that intimacy is not a priority, then marrying someone with the same outlook can work. In such a case, both parties understand and accept the arrangement from the beginning. Now comes the harder part, dealing with parents. In many cultures, marriage is not just a personal decision, it's a family milestone. Parents often believe it is their duty to settle their children, fearing loneliness for them in the future. And in their love, they may push too hard, sometimes without realizing the harm it could cause. In Islam, obedience to parents is a major duty. The Quran elevates it immediately after worshipping Allah in Surah Luqman, and we have enjoined upon man care for his parents. His mother carried him, increasing her in weakness upon weakness, and his weaning is in 2 years. Be grateful to me and to your parents. To me is the final destination. But obedience to parents has limits. If a parent commands something that results in harm, oppression, or disobedience to Allah, you are not required to obey. The Prophet Muhammad said, "There is no obedience to creation in disobedience to the Creator." Forcing yourself into a marriage that you know will harm your spouse is not obedience. Citizen justice. So how do you tell your parents? With respect, with gentleness, with clarity. Islam is not about rebellion or cutting ties. It's about speaking the truth in the most beautiful manner. Explain your feelings, your reasoning, and your fears. Show them that your decision is not rebellion against them, but a commitment to avoid injustice. And since sometimes parents may react with shock, denial, or even anger, be patient. Just as they took years to raise you, it may take time for them to understand you. Continue to serve them, love them, and be there for them, so they never feel your decision means you are abandoning them. There is also a spiritual reality. Hear your body, your heart, your desires. They are all created by Allah. If He has not placed within you a strong desire for marriage, that too is by His wisdom. Allah does not create anyone in vain, nor does He burden a soul beyond what it can bear. Perhaps your life's mission lies elsewhere, serving your parents in their old age, dedicating yourself to knowledge, helping the poor, building a business that benefits the Ummah. Marriage is a path for many, but it is not the only path to righteousness, and yet, life is full of changes. Some people find that desire awakens later, triggered by meeting the right person, by a shift in emotional needs, or even by a change in health. That's why leaving the door open is wise. You may not want marriage now, but Allah can change hearts in an instant. If that happens, then step forward, wisely choosing a spouse for deen and character. As the Prophet Muhammad advised, a woman is married for 4 things: her wealth, her lineage, her beauty, and her religion. Choose the one with religion. May your hands be rubbed with dust. May you prosper. This discussion is not just about one man's question. It's about the balance between personal capacity and societal expectation. It's about understanding that in Islam, marriage is sacred, but so is justice, so is mercy, and so is honesty. If you are in this situation, do not let shame or pressure force you into a commitment you cannot fulfill. Seek knowledge, seek counsel, and seek Allah's guidance through it. Remember, your life is a trust from Allah, and so is the heart of any person you marry. On to the parents listening, love your children enough to hear them, to understand them, and to guide them with wisdom, not just tradition. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who might be silently struggling. Support others in making decisions based on justice and truth, not pressure and fear. And if you want to keep learning about the deep, beautiful truths of Islam that protect hearts and preserve dignity, then subscribe to Islamic Echoes. Together, we'll uncover the wisdom of the Quran and Sunnah, one topic at a time.